take one full year and notice my negative thoughts. And every time I have a negative thought, I'm going to say, stop right in the middle of that thought or right after that thought has been completed. And I'm going to upgrade it to a thought that uplifts and serves who I am on a deeper level.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of IMC, the show where we pull back the layers of metaphysics and reality in order to demystify spirituality. And I'm so excited for today's episode. Today we have Miss Elisha Gabriall. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing so good. I hope you are as well.
Thank you. It's such a beautiful day here. So I really want to dive right into it. You help people on the hero's journey. First, what is the hero's journey? And then tell us about what you do to help others.
The hero's journey is starting at the bottom of the mountain, starting up the mountain to your dream at the top, and facing hurricanes and storms and snow and bears and mountain lions as you go up the side of that mountain to your dream. And it's continuing to believe in yourself enough that you can take the next step and the next step and the next step. And all along, you're having breakthrough after breakthrough, realization after realization, after, oops, I hear my phone. We'll ignore it totally. I thought I had it turned down. So sorry. Realization after realization. And finally, as you get up higher and higher, you're now looking down with blue sky above the clouds, and you have a ways to go. But now you know who you are. You know what your gifts are and what you have to give to the world and to yourself, and changing your own life by making it magnificently everything that you ever hoped it would be and more. Because believe me, as you go through this journey, things will arrive, rainbows will come, angels will come and speak to you. Wonderful things that you never even dreamed were possible will happen along your journey that you can't see at the bottom of the mountain. So, what I did, I went through this myself. I tried year after year, I'd say for 5 or 6 years, to make my spiritual business my main focus of my life, because it was my main focus of my life. It was my heart's gift given through workshops and through classes to uplift others to their own realization. And I just literally hit ceiling after ceiling, wall after wall, and I'd come back to my normal job, which is Alzheimer's care and hospice. I've done that for 30 years. And 5 years ago, I started going, I feel like I want to bring this to a completion and really focus on my classes and workshops. But every time, every direction I took with earnestness, with sincerity, with a pure and open, full heart, I still hit a wall and hit another wall and hit another wall. And I kept going, gosh, is this a pipe dream? But I'd come back to no, it's the deepest dream of my heart is to be able to serve and uplift this earth through my classes and workshops and live presentations. So I would come back and I'd try something else, and that wouldn't work. Finally, I had a profound experience, a profound awakening of energy coming down like a, what's the word? Like a download of truth that came to in through every cell of my body and shook me, literally shook me. I was trembling like this. And I even had to lay down to help to integrate that amount of energy that had come through me. And it was so profound. And I heard myself saying, my highest being integrated with my lower self, the self that had been full of self doubt and low self worth. Because I had a violent alcoholic father when I was growing up, my opinions were never listened to. If you argued with his opinion, you'd get beat. It was not a safe place to blossom into a whole being of light. So I opened one little flower and shut it down real quick because it just wasn't safe. Open another little flower and shut it down because it just wasn't safe. And I learned to hide because if I didn't come into contact with him, if I could stay away from him, I was less likely to come into direct opposition with him and his way of being because my way of being was very different. So when I had this realization for the first time, I felt and I heard it rang through my energy field like a bell. I have come home to myself. And I trembled for 4 to 5 hours after that as a part of integrating the high frequency that I had never been allowed, and I never allowed myself because it didn't feel safe to me. I was always hiding in the background of the group and not times I would let my truth be heard, but it wasn't continual. And finally, I felt like a shining sun. I felt brighter than a shining sun. And within minutes of having this realization, I symbolically looked to my left and I looked down the path that I had come up. And I said, how can I help other women, other people go through this journey a little bit easier and a little bit quicker than I have had to go through it? Because I'm my own teacher. My life experience is my teacher. And I know that I have a beautiful spirit team that is always nudging me in this direction or nudging me toward this realization. But it felt like had done it all myself. And um, so I turned in and said, how can I help these people that also have a dream, a way of serving themselves and the world, of uplifting themselves, their families, and the world, but have hit wall after wall like I did. So I said, I have to develop a course. And I don't want it to be just a course that I create and then sell online because that doesn't give them the support that each person needs to go through these realizations and these processes. What the bottom line is always is for me is feeling worthy. It's having high enough self-esteem to believe that you're worth that dream that you can see as you look up to the top of the mountain. It is healing and embracing your human imperfection. It is healing and embracing the wounded inner child. And most of us have a wounded inner child. And that inner child doesn't feel safe because she was threatened if she was made visible. The first thing to ask yourself is imagine living, becoming the frequency of that dream at the top of your own mountain. Does it feel safe to you? Can you express that in a world that may not be supporting you? And you have to find that support inside of yourself. You have to find that wisdom that takes you another couple of steps inside of yourself. And that's what makes this realization, self realization, a hero's journey is that you can read 1,000 books, you can listen to 1,000 YouTubes, and they can inspire you. But you have to take the steps. You have to find that truth mirrored within your own being. But don't worry, because your being is infinitely wise. Your being, your inner being, the light within you, and the ascended masters call this the I am presence. Some people aren't real comfortable with that. Call it your divine inner being. It's the same thing. So, my course, I divided up into 90 days, 3 months of live interactions with me, 3 months let me explain the modules. 3 months, each module has two big lessons in it. And they're things that I had to overcome within myself. They're realizations that I had to awaken to that part of myself that I find are useful for everyone that is in a spiritual awakening journey. So the three modules, each one has two parts. Second module, two parts. Third module, two parts. And these include visualizations. They include how do I face my fears with bravery, with courage? How do I heal my little inner child that's afraid of the world because she was not treated well and supported and loved, and her uniqueness was not honored? And that's one of the dynamics in my own family that was just huge. Was I knew I was different, and yet that was never even seen or acknowledged by my parents. I always felt like my only worth in my family was doing physical hard work. So I carried that throughout every job I had for years. I was acknowledged for doing great work and excellent work. And much one of my personal mottos was I bring excellence to everything that I do. So every job I had, I brought excellence to that and was acknowledged for it, but never with higher pay. So I worked low pay jobs. Why? Because that's what I felt I was worth. I was used to doing physical labor in my house, mowing the lawn, painting fences. We had 3 girls, so we did it all, but never being acknowledged for anything other than being able to do the physical work well. So I carried that dynamic for decades, literally. And I so don't want other people to have to linger in those energies like I did because I didn't know how to get out of it. Now I know how to get out of it. And that is my course, Your Hero's Journey. You can contact me at the end of this show. I'm sure you'll have all the, yeah, you can go, oh, yeah. And the free thing with Your Hero's Journey is as part of, was it my TikTok venture? It was my TikTok venture, which I no longer have access to, but that's the way life goes sometimes. I made 150 videos on the deeper law of attraction. And I recorded all those. I typed them all out in writing and put them in a document. And if you go to Your Hero's Journey, you will see, type in your information and you will get actually 105 is what I have now. 105 principles, dynamics, and activations, because each one of these law of attraction principles will activate something within you as you read it, as you say it out loud. And remember, when we're working with, we can think them, like if there are people standing around or you're driving a car full of people somewhere, you can think them and that really helps. But what enlivens that affirmation is to say it out loud because you are using the power of the word, which is unstoppable. We all have little voices in our head, some of them telling me, yeah, I can do this, sure. And some of them saying, who are you kidding? You can't do Trust their thoughts. But you learn to say, here's what I like to call it, is upgrading your thoughts and your words that you speak to yourself. You're not really correcting them. You can call them that, but it's like a reward and punishment system that we don't want to use. So I call it upgrading your inner voice the voice that speaks to you all of the time, and upgrading your daily thoughts. Once when I lived in Florida 20 years ago, and I decided I need to stop my negative thoughts because I know a lot of them. Not all the time. I notice beauty around me. I love nature. I laughed a lot, but still in the background, I had negative thoughts that would pop up way too much. So I said, I'm going to take one full year and notice my negative thoughts. And every time I have a negative thought, I'm going to say, stop right in the middle is that thought, or right after that thought has been completed. And I'm going to upgrade it to a thought that uplifts and serves who I am on a deeper level. And I did that. I did that for one full year. I think it was from September to September. Oh, and then next month is September. So it's a good time for you to get started. Upgrade your thoughts. Be aware of your own self. Be aware of your conscious mind. What is your conscious mind creating? Because your dominant thought frequency is what you will pull from the universe into your real life. Anyway, my course is Your Hero's Journey. You'll get 105 of those power activations. Some of them make you laugh, some of them make you very serious, will look deeply inside of yourself because laughter and joy is one of the highest frequencies of that band of consciousness that we call Source Creator or God. The light of God, the intelligence of God, the love of God, of Source Creator, I view symbolically, not in real reality of the I am presence, but I view in this reality as being like a rainbow. And a rainbow is really a full circle, but we can't see it going into the earth. It and I'm not sure that it even continues in the earth, but if the earth isn't there, if it's high enough, it makes a complete circle in the sky, but we only see part of that complete circle. So one of my ways of approaching the divine so that we can understand it, and I need to understand it so that I can share it with other people, is as a rainbow. There are various frequencies within that rainbow, and each one of those is expressed in this earth realm in colors. So we can see the green color, and we know green is healing. We can see red, and we know red is energizing. It's the color of our blood, of our life force. And in some countries like India, red is a celebration color. The bride might wear red on her big day of celebration. A birthday party might be celebrated with red balloons everywhere because red symbolizes each frequency of that rainbow goes a little bit higher, a little bit faster, up to purple. And purple is the highest frequency of that rainbow. And it denotes to us humans, it denotes spirituality. Why? Because it's a very high and fast frequency. So many of the ascended masters, like Saint Germain, uses the ray. He's the master of the violet ray. He is the master of guiding this earth through its awakening process, the earth and humanity. So you can consciously use that purple frequency, it's pretty fast, high frequency, anytime that you're feeling low, anytime you're just so tired, you don't know how you're gonna even finish your day. You're so depressed, you're so discouraged over something, you're so disappointed about another wall that you hit. And you're going, oh my gosh, am I even supposed to be doing this? Yeah, you are. If it comes from the deepest place within you, that comes from your inner light, your inner truth. So when you're in that plan, I use it, believe me, I get discouraged every once in a while. And so you can bring that violet ray down from the core of the earth and bring it up through every cell of your body and expand it up into the universe and let it saturate every cell until your being is vibrating and shimmering at a higher frequency. And that works so well for me. And I know it works for other people as well because you're shifting your slow, depressed, tired, oh God, am I ever going to be successful? And you're slowly raising up your frequency up to the violet ray so that you can then live from your real truth, from the light within you, the light that you are. And let me see, I think I had something else I wanted to talk about.
Wow, you are such a wealth of knowledge. I just love the way that I was like, "Wow, just keep going." I love the way you started really from the basis of where you get started from, just that changing your thought slowly at a time, moving let's call them bad or negative thoughts, and just
Yeah.
replacing it with a different thought. Slowly, as you said, starting from that root chakra of the body, and then moving all the way up to the purple, to the crown. Slowly, I'm just in awe. I love everything. I do have a question about
Oh,
about the law of attraction. Do you
yes.
feel that a lot of people focus in on the law of attraction? Is there something special about that particular law or and not the other laws of the universe?
Yeah, it's the law that governs how this particular universe works. Now I've heard, was it Germain? I can't remember. One of the ascended masters said, not only this universe is governed on the laws of attraction, but every universe is governed on the law of attraction. It is the engine is what they say, the engine that guides creation within this realm. And remember, we came here to learn that we are creators. We are co creators with a living universe. And there is so much life that we can't see within this universe. So many spiritual beings of all kinds, so many angels sent directly with messages for us. They're whispering in our ear, but do we see them? Probably not. Seems like a few people see them, but most of us don't see those messengers and angels and beings of light that are all around us all of the time. So that's why I like to say co creating. And I don't correct myself if I say, I am creating this, you are creating that, because in our human self, we are sending that power through our heart and through our mind to create that. And we're not aware of the forces of the elements, the powers of the wind and the sky and the ocean that are helping us. If you live next to the ocean, the element of water is prominent for you in creating your reality. If you live in the desert, or I live in the mountains, then the element of earth is very strong within you. And you could see I'm wearing brown, and brown is an earth color. I'm a Capricorn with a lot of earth aspects in me. And so I very naturally gravitate to using the element of earth to ground in what I would like to create. Whereas a person that lives next to the ocean can use the energy of the dolphins and the whales and the water itself, the force of that ocean as it comes crashing onto the beach and then goes out again and joins the hull, and a wave comes in again and goes out again and joins the hull. Like our breath, isn't it? Kind of
I
in
love
pull and pull through, and it
where
goes
where
and
I love
joins the.
just bringing in the breath and how important that is. But you're talking about the elements and the specific elements dealing with people's zodiac signs. So, when people are trying to integrate themselves or go deeper into their own spirituality, maybe meditate with the elements, how would you recommend each individual with their particular element do that?
Let's just go with earth, air, fire, and water. Fire signs are Sagittarius, Leo, and something else I'm not thinking of. Ooh, you know what you are. Let's say you're a fire sign. Then the fire within your own being can be the fire that creates your dreams because fire is a force of heat. It's a force, excuse my croaky voice. The fire is a power that moves you forward in your life. It moves you through any challenge. Fire burns away your lower self doubt, your lower, I'm not good enough, your lower, can I do it? And fire is the element that can light up that little flames. What that little flame can turn into a raging fire, is what I'm saying. I have a book called that I wrote a long time ago called White Buffalo and the Rainbow Warrior Adventures in Spirit. And in there, one of the little itty bitty things was that I had a bunch of spirit teachers come to me. And at the time, I was very into Native American teachings and shamanic stuff. And this being named Two Trees, and he was a young Native American man, came to me in spirit. And he started talking about, we want you to know that someday you'll be able to bilocate and be able to serve different people in different countries at the same time, or different people in different locations in this country and helping in different ways at different times. And it just blew my mind. Are you kidding me? And I said to him, how can you say that when that's light years ahead of my current experience and abilities? And he answered me, all I'm doing is lighting the flame, and the winds of destiny will blow that tiny little flame into a raging fire. And I went, okay, I get it. And so fire is that little seed of possibility and of potential within you, where the winds of destiny, you don't have to try, you just be yourself and use the force of fire in your creation and let the winds of destiny ask for the winds of destiny to blow that little spark into a raging fire that lights up your whole life. Okay, we better move on.
It's a wonderful explanation. I love that.
Move on to air. Saw the wind. It's so beautiful. It's one of my medicines. If you read White Buffalo, the book that I wrote 20 years ago, and it's on my website, Laughing Goddess. It's not international. I sell it there as a download. I did have it in book print, but it sold all those copies. And at the time, I just didn't have enough money to reprint it. So it is a download right now. But oh, yeah, the wind is one of my shamanic elements. Ever since I can remember, I grew up in tornado country in Illinois in the cornfields. And in the summer, especially in July and August, when it was super, super hot, you could look up in the sky and see the clouds starting to swirl. And I would get so excited. And I was a kid, like 9 or 10 years old. And I would spread my arms out and I would start running through our backyard and then around and back the other way with the power of the wind. It just lifted me and carried me, and I have many moments of wind magic, which I talk about in the book. But the wind is such a pure, beautiful, and powerful voice. It can be a wind that knocks buildings down, that knocks down the old, that completely destroys the old form that we were so attached to. And in that destroying of the form, new concepts of ourselves and of life are born. The wind is so powerful, so beautiful, and so pure. Or it can just be the softest caress on your cheeks as you're out on a trail, or you go out in your car to get something and you feel this loving wind that just caresses you. So the wind is a power that we have barely tapped with our imaginations. So if you're an air person, you have the power of the wind within you that you can use to create your reality. Tap into that beauty, that magnificence that is inside of you, waiting to be used. Fire, we talked about. Air, we talked about. Water, we hit on. The breath, it's the power of the breath, isn't it? It's the power of inhaling and holding for 3 or 4 seconds, whatever works for you, whatever you're used to doing,
Mm.
and then using the 3 or 4 count on the way out of the breath. And that coming and going, that tide of the life force around you that you are now embodying, that becomes the tides of the ocean that can carry the old back out into the one. The one is the ocean symbolically, and you inhale it again and it enlivens you. And it can also be gentle. It can also be fierce. Power knocks down buildings. We know what a tidal wave can do. And that power of that tidal wave can be used within you, within your own being for creating the reality around you. It's a power that you can tap into and use naturally because it's a part of who you are. That's earth, air, water. Did I skip something? Earth. Oh, earth.
Yeah, so it's the earth.
And as I say, I'm an earth sign, but I've got water and air as well. Cancer, moon, and Aquarius rising. But anyway, each of you were born at the exact moment, whether you were born late, whether you were born early, whether you were born through a C section, you were born at the exact moment that all of the stars aligned to bring the forces of their potential through you as a living being, so that when you grew, each one of those potentials would manifest within your world and with everyone that you touched, because you were not only working on our own little world, which is beautiful and powerful, but we're here to touch other people's hearts and minds. We're here to uplift the world through our presence. And that's what my course, Your Hero's Journey, does. It keeps pushing you back into your own self. Okay, you see this in this reflection. Ooh, that sounds good. Now find that and use it within yourself. And I give you the tools and the homework to use each one of the principles. And then at our live connection, at the end of each module, you can speak about what you realized and what your challenges were. Climbing up that mountain, it's not easy all the time. There are easy moments where you'll see beautiful wildflowers or a hawk or an eagle circling over your head, blessing you with its presence. But it's to become, it's to align with that dream at the top of the mountain now. And then those challenges, you can move through those challenges with ease and grace. And I can tell you that life has become so much easier for me because I have challenges all the time, but I'm not attached to those challenges like I used to be. If I had a challenge, I immediately went into fear. Oh God, how am I going to get through this? What shall I do? I don't know. That kind of thing of desperation. No, this couldn't happen. And that doesn't happen anymore. I can have the biggest challenges, but I literally ease through them like a dolphin, easing through the coral at the bottom of the ocean. And you can do that too. And that's why I'm here, is to teach you, to uplift you, to remind you of your ease and grace that is available for you.
Wow, very beautifully said. One of my favorite things that you hit on, and I don't know if you did it intentionally, as you were going through each element, you talked about really the yin and yang of both sides.
Yeah.
How the flame is very soft and gentle, but we know what a forest fire can do. Water is very simple, it's very easygoing, it nourishes us, but a tidal wave
Yes.
destroys things. So I
Yeah.
just love the way that you look at the I guess the dichotomy of things, the dualistic
Yeah.
aspect of
Yeah.
anything in life.
Contrast. It's contrast and polarity. I have been learning recently, and we all know we come here to learn. We come here for our souls to learn. And what the ascended masters have said over and over, and I doubted it in the beginning, starting to realize it a little more. And what they said was, you come here for the challenges because when you break through that challenge, you have a no solution to that challenge. You found a solution that didn't exist before. And in finding a solution to our challenges, we expand who we are. Our consciousness expands. Our soul expands through experience. That's why you're not living on Jupiter or Venus. You chose the earth because of the contrast, because the polarity of the figure eight. Imagine the polarity of the figure eight going up and down. We go up for a while, things are easy and we're expanding. Then we go down for a while and we get challenges. There is no one on this earth, including the Dalai Lama, who faced some huge challenges, and I'm sure still does, in trying to organize and manage his worldwide organization. You're going to meet with challenges. I, I'm sure that he also has learned not to resist those challenges because resistance creates more force from the challenges. You are creating the challenges. Your soul is providing you and gifting you with the challenges, with the contrast, so that you can move through it, so you can learn to glide like a dolphin over and through the challenges of life. And in doing that, you become more. You reached solutions you never dreamed of, new pathways open that you never dreamed of. You ask for help from certain people, or they just come into your life with a part of the solution that you never dreamed of. And by going through those challenges, you not only learn to detach from them because you've met so many of them, you know they don't last forever. And you know that eventually you're going to find a solution, and you will. And so you don't attach to each one. You see it, you meet it, and you glide right through it. And that is the reason that each one of us chooses this earth experience, and how important it is to be present, fully present within each moment, because each moment has the beauty like a flower unfolding, like the petals are opening. This is in this moment that there is immense beauty available for you. But if you're hurrying mentally to the next moment, I got to get over here and I got to do this. And how am I going to do that? Then you're not fully embracing, not fully being present in this magical and unimaginable beauty and magnificence of what this moment has for you. And that's the reason we embody. When we fully embody, when you fully embrace being human, that is when the spirit and the stars become available to you.
So what do you say to somebody who feel as if they're down and out, that they can't get started, that their life has just spiraled out of control? How do you get started on this path?
I'm assuming that this person must, and if they don't, they need to start a morning spiritual practice because you're starting your day on a specific frequency note, just like the rainbow, it's different frequencies. Where are you starting, initiating the frequency of your day? Are you initiate it by the first thing in the morning you wake up and you start thinking of your problems? Or are you raising yourself up above the problem so that you become the vast being that you really are? You become bigger than that problem. And when you're bigger than that problem and you know it, you can meet that problem and much more easily find solutions. And you're opening the gates of possibility. If you're starting your day in a low frequency, that's what you're likely to continue as you go to the bank, as you go to work. You'll find that people at work don't respond as well to you because you started at a low frequency. So that morning practice, whatever works for you. It might be reading a particular Bible verse that inspires you like nothing else. Read that 3 times, say it out loud, take it in. It might be conversations with God. It might be sitting and visualizing what you would really like to happen during your day. And that's really powerful. That is a powerful tool, is to sit, visualize what you're going to do that day, and visualize just flowing through it, of meeting people that smile back at you, that recognize you as one of their own. Create a feeling of belonging in the world, of belonging in your day, of touching the hearts. Say to yourself, I'm going to touch everybody's heart that I meet today with love. And that may be a smile. That may be just a little pat on the shoulder as you walk by. Or it could be, wow, you look really pretty today. You look really radiant. I really like your outfit. You look really good in that. And it can be just the tiniest little thing where they just beam back. Thank you for saying that. Maybe nobody has said anything nice to them in 2 weeks, and you can change their world for that day. When you touch other people's hearts, you touch your own hearts. When you're down and discouraged, uplift somebody else. And in that process, you have to uplift yourself.
Wow. Beautifully said. It's funny because I've always been taught that a smile goes a long way and you never
Yeah.
know what someone else is going through. So you would want somebody to be nice to you, just share that energy, spread that
Yes.
heat.
Yeah.
But we only have a few minutes left, Alicia. Is there anything you want to leave with the audience before we go?
Yeah, just let me tune in for a moment and see. Just a reminder that every one of us is creating our own worlds. If there's something going on in the rest of the world that you would like to see healed, don't take it on as a burden. Take it on for a moment. Focus on it for a moment. Send love to it. I like to hold my hands out and blow love from my heart into that part of the world and see it expand and sparkle throughout that part of the world. If a family member is going through a tough thing, then this is called the shamanic breath. And this is something I learned 35 years ago when I was really into Native American stuff and shamanic stuff. You take the vision from your heart. You take the vision from your mind. And by the way, when you put those together, it becomes a violet laser. And I have one video on that. Love or vision, highest vision from the mind, love from the heart, and they stream together. Blow that into your son's heart. Blow that into his energy field, and then let his soul choose what to do with it. You don't ever want to force somebody to do what you want them to do. You want them to do what their own I am presence, their divine essence would love for them to experience. to know themselves in a higher and better way, or to change parts of the world, use that shamanic breath. It's so easy and it can be done, and let it go. Don't carry a burden of anyone else. Don't carry anyone else's burden with you. Be the being of light that you really are. Be your divine essence 24 hours a day. And that is when the world opens and you start to begin to live your dreams. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored. Thank
Mhm.
you.
That was so beautifully said. I hope everyone watching this, if you're watching it, if you're listening to it, I hope you all enjoyed that as well. Your website is, we've popped that up a few times. Please go to yourheroesjourney.net to sign up for her course. It's beautiful. So, 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 so
That's
beautiful.
105 affirmation, deeper law of attraction affirmations. I am the light.
Yeah. Yeah, I am the light. And it's funny, I would say that to myself over the past couple of years, ever since I started this journey. We're going to have all the information in the descriptions. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you, Elisha, for coming on, and have a great one, everybody. Bye.